right? This is lesson 6, perimeter and area on the coordinate grid. Now, what we're going to do here is take everything that we've talked about from this point forward with distance formula, midpoint formula, Pythagorean theorem, to perimeter and area from lesson 5 of rectangles, squares, parallelograms, triangles, circles, and that's what we're going to do here is apply all those now into the coordinate grid system. But before we do that, we're going to do a little bit of a review on slope. Now, we've talked about slope about a couple of times here and there, and slope is one of those things you start learning about 6th grade. Now, to find the slope between 2 points, if it was a graph, we'd probably just go ahead and straight up do rise over run. Another way to find slope more algebraically is to do this. It's the change in the y's over the change in the x. I like to do the triangle like that to signify it's a change. That's just all that means, is shorthand for change. But more than likely, what most of you, again, are used to seeing, taught back to like 6th grade, is this right here. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, it says the same thing. Just be careful that you're doing y's over x's and be consistent when you subtract them out. All right, so let's really quick review finding slope because we are going to be using slope here today with lesson 6. It's a big lesson. There's a lot of work to go with it involved. A lot of distance formula, a lot of midpoint, so just bear with. On letter A, change in the y's over change in the x's. So I'm just going to go straight to 4 minus negative 2 over, sorry, I didn't do the y's, did I? Let's try this one more time. Change in the y's. So 10 minus a negative 4. And change in the x's. Since I start off with 10, I need to do 4 minus a negative 2. 2 negatives make it positive. So 14 over 6. Always reduce that down. Reduce it down by 2, down to 7/3. The slope is positive 7/3. If you were to graph this out, what would the line look like? Increasing or decreasing? The line would look something like that. Letter B, change in the y's. So the change in the y's, 10 minus a negative 4 over negative 12 minus a negative 12. 2 negatives make a positive. 2 negatives make a positive, so I get 0. 14 divided by 0 is 0. And if you did that, then you fell into that trap. You cannot divide by 0. And we've talked about this, I know, a couple times. This is what we call is undefined. We cannot divide by 0. If you typed into your calculator, you get an error message. Now, if we were to plot these 2 points, let's think about this. What would these 2 points do? Negative 12, negative 4, negative 12, 10. These 2 points would be on a vertical line. So, an undefined slope is a vertical line then, in which we then say is undefined. A little bit of review as we work through here. Letter C. Change in the y's, negative 45 minus 10. Remember, I don't care what I start off with, just be consistent. So if I start off with negative 45, I need to start off with negative 20 minus 40. Negative 55, sorry, that's not pretty. Negative 55 over negative 60. 2 negatives make a positive. And I can reduce 55 and 60, both by 5. So 11 twelfths, it looks like. And then after that, it's a positive slope. So if I did a positive slope there, positive slopes, again, look like this. This one would actually be pretty flat because the slope is not very large. We'll talk more about that, a little bit of review as we work through here, okay? Letter D, change in the y's. So negative 4 minus negative 4, change in the x's. Negative 4 minus negative 4 is 0. 4 minus negative 2 is 6. 0 divided by 6. Okay, so letter B, I kind of flip things around. So remember, 0 divided by 6 is okay. We get 0. So here, think about it. If we plot these for these 2 points, negative 2, negative 4, 4, negative 4, then I end up with actually a horizontal line. So a slope that is 0, we say, is got a horizontal line, okay? So slope is, think about like walking up and down hills. If you're walking over a flat land, there's no slope. That's pretty easy to walk on. That's slope of 0. But as you start to walk up, like we have a positive slope, it's increasing, maybe a little bit more challenging to maybe walk up it. The steeper the incline, the higher the slope. So 7/3 that we got in part A is going to be a little bit more dramatic than say the 11/12 that we got